Make sure to check out my Covey account, link down in the description. And check out my other series, Modern Classics and TV Treasures. Hi, I'm Henry R. Mockingbird, your host with the mustache. You know, I have neither shaved nor slept since I first saw this movie. And I had to watch it twice for this review. I haven't slept nor shaved for 3 days. 3 days! I knew that this movie was gonna be bad going in, but I was not ready for this. You could never be ready for the madness, the insanity I am about to unleash on you. This is the gateway to madness that is Bulgarian Treasure Planet. Oh. This review's going to break from formula. Instead, I'm going to use the formula I used in my Alice in Wonderland review and talk about 5 scenes from the movie. But rather than saving my opinion and the production towards the end, I'm going to do it at the beginning. I want to clear up some confusion. This is not a ripoff of Disney's Treasure Planet. In fact, this movie came out in 1982, 2 whole decades before Disney's Treasure Planet ever came out. The similarities they have between the two is that they're both adaptations of Treasure Island, and they take place in space. I'm going to give my opinion right off the bat. This movie is bat crap insane. This is In Search of the Titanic levels of insanity. No, I take that back. This is Felix the Cat the movie levels of insanity. Yes, this is the only movie that can hold a candle to this. Double take it back. This movie makes Fear Loathing in Las Vegas look like a cool day in Cairo. The director of this mad collection of ravings is Roman Petkov. And it's not like the guy doesn't have talent. I have seen some of his comic art, and it looks very unique. Very reminiscent of Mac Fletcher, and he would later go on to work for shows like Ah Real Monsters, Dexter's Lab, Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, and I Am a Weasel. So yeah, the dude's got talent, and I can't fault him for that. He made a movie, and I gotta give him props for that too. This is way more of a movie than I have ever made. But just because I give him respect for making this, that doesn't mean I have to like the end result. Full disclosure, I'm going to show both screenshots from the movie and footage from it in this review, because this is one of those movies where I have to show the footage. It is that bad crap insane. So let the movie speak for itself. But before we get to the actual film itself, I want to talk about the animation and voice acting. Let us start with the animation so I don't dwell on it. It is awful. I mean, my God. It's on par with the Zelda CDI cutscenes. The character designs look like they were drawn by a second grader. Some of them don't even have noses. Movement is so unnatural. The characters are constantly shaking about. Like, the characters either move like they're being tased and having muscle spasms at the same time, or they move like they're made out of Play-Doh. Even when a character does so much as walking, it looks unnatural. And even the lip sync is completely off. Like, get a load of how this one moves its mouth.
Now then, will you hand over Captain Flint's treasure map immediately?
And it's not like the backgrounds compensate for this. With the exception of a few backgrounds, it doesn't really look that impressive. Even the so-called treasure planet literally looks like Uranus. It literally looks like the inside of a colon. Next up, let's talk about who voices the characters. First, let's start with our main character, Philippe. And why is he called Philippe rather than Jim Hawkins? I don't know. And he's voiced by Bryan Cranston. Please leave your Breaking Bad jokes in the comments section below. And Bryan Cranston must have been proud of this movie, given how he's not even mentioned on the IMDb page and only appears on the dubbing Wikipedia page. And Billy Bones is voiced by Mike Reynolds, who also did voice work for Akira, as well as Studio Ghibli's Castle in the Sky. And Commander Smollett is played by Tom Weiner, who also did voice work for Ghost in the Shell, Lily Cat, and the Robot Tech series. And Long John Silver is voiced by Robert V. Barron, who would later go on to play Abraham Lincoln in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Two of his robots and even his parrot is voiced by Joe Perry of the band Aerosmith. One of Long John's robots is voiced by Robert Axelrod, who also was in the Blob remake, Sorority House Massacre, Slumber Party Massacre, Alice in Wonderland 1985, did voice work for Akira and the original Dragon Ball. You want to know what else he voiced?
Those Power Rangers are nothing but mere infants! You were defeated by children!
That's right, he was Lord Zed in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Apologies to any 90s kids whose childhoods I might have ruined. With all of that out of the way, Let us get on with the first scene. What if I were to tell you this movie loses its mind in the first 10 minutes? Let us look at one of the first scenes of the movie, shall we?
Okay, Billy.
Give me the black spot, Willie. If they want to serve a death summons on Billy Bones, they'll have to send a far better man than Black Dog. The fools.
Hey, I felt a raindrop. You know, I almost believe you did that on purpose.
What is this, Looney Tunes?
Come on, Billy, cut it out.
That's the first problem with this movie. The humor is all over the place. Sometimes you get jokes like this that feel like they came straight out of the Looney Tunes, but other times a lot of the jokes seem to be just LOL random humor, aka Gen Z humor, where the weirdest, randomest, and stupidest things were often seen as funny depending on how you look at it. Imagine the 80s equivalent to Gen Z humor. And you pretty much got a lot of the jokes in this movie. Like what? Why did he just blow up? Seriously? Imagine if I blew up at the end of one of my reviews and came back with no explanation. Would that add up? No, it wouldn't. And there are times where they break the fourth wall. So, very much like the movie itself, the humor is very confused. But let's get back to it, shall we?
Oh, it's a fake. Captain Smollett switched star maps on me and gave me a map to all the movie stars' homes in Beverly Hills.
It's a tough life being a cartoon character, yeah! Why couldn't I get a nice situation comedy?
So, very much like the movie itself, the humor is very confused. But let's get back to it, shall we?
Billy, where are you?
What is even up with this music? It sounds like it was recorded off an 80s synthesizer. And now they're just ripping sound effects straight from an Atari 2600. Now they're going through a tube, and now they explode, and now they're jumping rope. What is going on? Keep in mind, all this crap I'm showing you happens in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Be very afraid, people. Be very afraid. And if you're not, you will be. You will be. Ship starts catching fire, and the ship turns into an old school ship, and we see Commander Smollett, and he says, "You know what? Screw it. I'll just let him do the talking."
I'm Captain Smollett of the Hispaniola, and you're my cabin boy of Treasure Island fame by Robert Louis Stevenson.
What?
Did he just say Treasure Island fame, Robert Louis Stevenson? So, are they implying that the book exists in this universe? Heretic, please take it.
That doesn't even make sense!
Exactly! This is like if in the first Harry Potter movie, Dumbledore read the original Harry Potter books and knew the existence of J.K. Rowling and who Harry Potter was that way. This movie's universe should have imploded on itself. And if he knows the book, then maybe he should know not to hire shady dudes like Long John Silver. Commander Smollett calls the crew up for investigation. You know what this scene needs? A musical number. And a musical number that adds nothing, contributes nothing, and comes out of nowhere with no explanation. That joke does not apply to this movie because this whole movie is one massive big lip alligator moment. Just saying the scene comes out of nowhere isn't entirely true. We do get an explanation from Long John Silver.
We're approaching a magnetic storm. I know that can be rough on biorobots, but I'll make a few adjustments in your circuitry and you'll be okay.
Okay, I guess that semi makes sense. But earlier in the movie, we already had a scene where the robots are acting all cuckoo-ca-choo. So why on earth have this musical number that adds nothing and contributes nothing? What is this? What even is this? Philippe and Commander Smollett find Captain Flint's treasure. Before they get there, they have to go through a few optical illusions. Come on, this whole movie is already an optical illusion. And then they pretty much go into hell where they come across some spiders which look like the love children of Trolloc from Babes in Toyland 86 and Snar from the Muppets, and a skeleton which looks like the cousin of the skeleton from The Last Unicorn, and a one-eye version of Gollum, and many more creatures until they reach an armless Medusa, and then this happens. Just watch. Okay, naked women with webbed hands and feet and no nipples. I don't know what's weirder, that someone out there is chasing fire down below just by looking at this scene, because it's the internet and we're all attracted to whatever we're attracted to. And listen, I don't mind hot, sexy, naked women as much as the next guy, but this is not sexy. It's kinky. Approved for all ages. It's revealed that Captain Flint loved opera, and his favorite opera number was the Nebuchadnezzar. So they start singing opera.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, the old familiar stain. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. What have I become? My sweetest friend.
I can't even. Let's just wrap this up. And then we finally get the treasure, and we get an environmental message. Yeah, in a Treasure Island adaptation. This is almost as bad as when Legend of the Titanic tried to shoehorn in an environmental message. Only here it's much worse because they shoehorn it in at the very end. Say what you will about James Cameron's Avatar, but at least the environmental message played a part in the story, and they didn't shoehorn it in towards the very end. The ending of the movie pretty much has all the characters die in a fiery fashion, and the movie saves its very last bit of insanity towards the very end. And unleash that treasure planet, damn it! And we get trolls in shorts, Californian raisins, and blackface, because yeah, outside of being bat crap insane, let's add racism to the mix. And hippos with horns. And dragons with yellow ties. And peacocks. And I swear, I kid you not, Mickey freaking Mouse. I can only recommend this movie to one kind of person. If you're having a movie night and you have mushroom soup and brownies, maybe you might like this movie. But if you have a Diet Coke and popcorn, I would advise you to avoid this movie at all costs. 2 stars. I'm Henry R. Mockingbird, your host with the mustache. And if you excuse me, I'm going to try to recover my sanity in the next room. So long.